Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Yvonne and you are on Ginger Chick Rehab, where I love pre-loved, secondhand thrifted items, and I just can't pass up littles. I love little cute little things. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you a couple ideas of what to do with items that, you picked up, but they're okay on their own, but creating something out of them or putting them into something is even going to make it better. So I want to share with you today what to do with those items that you've thrifted, you've picked up, you bought. Now they're just in your stash, and we need to get creating with those things. And at some point, we just become a stasher, because I'm not going to say hoarder, we're just become a large stash. So let's get into crafting. I know candlesticks are not very exciting. Well, but they can be exciting. So being able to thrift these for minimal, I know these are like similar to what Hobby Lobby has in their natural section, and so I got all 4 of them for one price. That wasn't even the tag on the bottom that I got. But anyway, yes, I got 4 of them. So we are going to make them a little bit more exciting. I just recently picked up these. They're resin. They're aged and chippy, and I needed something to put them on. I don't know what they were originally on. They have a wire at the bottom of them. As you see, they need to be put onto something. So I thought these candlesticks would be so super sweet to be able to put those birds on there, though we need to get these painted up. So I kind of wanted to do like a chippy layering look, so I'm going to start off with Carriage House, a nice fun little green color, and this is raw wood. All I did was take the tags off because anything I really do to clean it is just going to soak into the wood, so I'm just going to give them a coat of this green paint to start off with. I thought it would be fun just to kind of brush on some of this heritage blue color. I just love these two are 2 of my favorite of the colors. So I'm just taking a fan brush and I'm just dry brushing on, just letting it hit here or there. Nothing full coverage by any means, just a little bit of a hint of the blue. So now to add some chippiness or some crackling or something to the top of this to give it some age. So what I'm going to use is some of the Sweet Pickins Flower Sack Color Milk Paint. So hopefully this paint likes to crack and craze and do all that chippiness, and so I'm hoping that it's going to do this on these little candlesticks. So I just needed a little bit, so it's equal parts powder and equal parts water. I actually cut back on the water just by like a 1/4, just so I could have a little bit more dry mixture for the candlesticks that are standing straight up. And I really want to do like a 1 coat coverage and put like almost a lot of paint on there at the same time. So it's nice and thick, you can see by just cutting back that water just a little bit. And then I'm just going to kind of dab it on, not necessarily painting it on because I want it a little bit heavy because I really want it to have the aged, painted a few times look. So you think since the birds are already kind of patinaed that I would leave them the patina, but it's a resin, it's a plasticky that's showing through and it doesn't look very good, even though I love the chippiness that's on there. I'm going to go ahead and we are going to give these a metal patina using some of the Dixie Belle's metal patina paints. So I'm going to use the iron paint. I need to do the bottom a little bit first since I have so many like angles to work with. Even though the bottom is going to be glued in, I still want to make sure that I don't have anything unpatinaed. So I'm going to go ahead and do that part first. Can tell that the resin didn't really want to be painted. So when there was resin showing, it kind of like said, no way, I'm not going to adhere here. So I'm going to go ahead and go back in with the Prime Start. Yes, the Dixie Belle Iron or the patinas, the metal patina paints, there is a prime start. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. It just all depends on my project, but it's always recommended to use. You know, we all just kind of do what we want to do as crafters, don't we sometimes? Anyway, so hopefully the prime start would adhere, and it seems to be adhering better on that resin. Let my primer dry, and now I'm going to go back in with the iron paint again and go right over the top of it. So I kind of like to do a dabbing technique so it really looks like metal has aged and it has rusted. These little birds are a little bit harder to do that on. There's a lot of little detail to get into, so I'm going to try my best. While the paint is still wet, I'm going to go in with Dixie Belle's patina spray in the green and just mist that right on. And I know as I'm editing and even when I got these turned, y'all, were you telling me that I missed a spot on that bird's breast there? Don't worry, I'm going to go back in and touch it up the best as I can, even though it has a little bit of that spray on there, but I don't want that big old chunk of primer showing. Okay, now that I have that dealt with, I'm going to go ahead and finish spraying a little bit more of the green patina on, and then automatically I'm going to take some of the blue patina that'll kind of leave a turquoise, and I kind of have it on a squirt mode, so I'm just like the high areas, just as you see, just a squirt, not a mist over the whole thing, just a squirt here and there to really give it that blue, like the weather has aged it and ran down on the item. And then in about an hour, this is what they look like. My obsession with patina paints is strong, you all. I just absolutely love doing those. So yes, now I need to go ahead and seal the patina paint in with something. I usually seal them in with the Weather Defense Clear Coat Spray. So my candlesticks are now dry. They are a little chunky. I probably should have put some Vaseline or something on there so they didn't adhere. Candle wax would have worked too, so it didn't adhere so well, but it's okay. You know, you just kind of take it. I'm glad I have crackling, I have crazing. Chippiness, no, I don't have any chippiness, but I am going to go back in with some 150 sandpaper, start sanding, because I put on a heavy coat and I meant for it to be thick and heavy, so I want to go ahead and sand some of that off. Now I am seeing the green. I'm not sure if I'll see any of the blue, but you know, I gave it a try just in case it did chip. But there were some things I could have done if I pre-thought to do it, but I didn't. I just proceeded on painting it, and raw wood just soaks paint right in. And I actually painted all 4 of them up, but the other 2, I didn't put any undercolors. I just painted right on top of the natural. So now I'm just going to go ahead with some of the Fusions Aging Wax and just wax it right on. When you do this on unsealed dry milk paint, it kind of gives it even more of a brown aged look. If you pre-seal it in with some clear coat first, it'll just kind of just get into the crevices and really keep that whiteness. But I wanted to give them a little bit more age since I have that rusty crusty bird on the top. So that's an awful big hole on the top of that candlestick. But so what I'm going to do is fill it a little bit. I have some of these little cubes from the Dollar Tree store, and luckily they fit perfectly in the inside of it. So to fill some of that space, I'm just going to put hot glue one of those in there to fill up the space a little bit more, because I am going to use Bondo as my glue to adhere those birds. I don't think I would be afraid that the hot glue it would break apart too easy. It wouldn't be a permanent bond. So I'm going to be using some of the Bondo wood filler. And I've used it a few times as a glue, and it really does work. Now, guesstimating how much I need is always my downfall, but Yeah, it's better to have too much than not enough, because as soon as you mix the hardener, which is this blue substance, and start mixing it up, it starts to harden. So you kind of have to work fast, and then try not to make a complete mess at the at the top of it would be another thing. But I think if I just take a popsicle stick and then just gingerly put it in there, get them filled up, and then put my birds on there, I think I should be good. I did sit for about 5 minutes and hold them in place until it started to harden. Within probably 15 minutes, they were good to go. Now, if I would have filled that whole thing in with Bondo, it would have taken a lot longer. That's why it was nice to put that little wooden cube in the bottom. But I do feel like the candlestick does need some type of embellishment, and I have this rusty crusty stars on a wire that I think I can twist around just for a little embellishment. And I kind of felt like it needed a little bit more, so I'm going to take some of this black ticking, just take one of the stripes of the ticking, so I have black on each side, and go ahead and just make a simple string trundling down. I tried it on the first one and I really already liked it. And then I'll just age the fabric with a little bit of the coffee stain, where you just mix instant coffee in a water bottle with a little bit of water, and you just mist that fabric, and it just gives that fabric just a little bit more age, so it's not so new. Is it if you find a mouse in your house and you're not very happy, but you find cute little mice that you can use as decor and you're just as happy as a lark. So I love these little mice. I did not care for the sunflower they were holding. It was just kind of tied on by a piece of jute. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that, and remove that tight little jute that's around them. Their ears, it was their ears. They were just so super cute. This is what I said, we all need ideas of what to do with items when we find them. So I have this little piece of wood. It's just a wood round from Hobby Lobby, Joann's, a lot of places carry them. And I kind of have a sewing theme I was going to do. Like, these are a couple little mice helping you sew. So I was just kind of gathering, I'm a gatherer, gathering some of my spools, because I have a lot of these spools, and some have thread, some don't have thread. I wanted to be able to rise like one of the mice higher than the other, so I did in my stash, there was just a random already painted black candlestick. So I thought, okay, this is my base. I think we can start from here. But of course, I'm not going to just leave this as is. I'm going to get this wood round painted up. Kind of like I did the undercoat on the candlesticks, I want to do an undercoat so you don't just see that raw wood. And I'm choosing to use Fusion's Coal Black paint. Now I'll only do one coat, since I'm going to be doing the milk paint on top of this. And it's raw wood, and it's just soaking it right in anyway. Now that my black paint is dry, which didn't take very long since it soaked right in, I'm going to do that same technique where I'm just kind of like smushing, dabbing the paint on, because I mixed up my milk paint a little bit on the thicker side. I just want to give it one coat. I want it to make it look like it has been painted multiple times, and it's chunky here and there, and I'm hoping in this way I will just get, I know I'm not going to get any chippiness because it's raw wood, but I do know that I can get some good old cracking and crazing going on. Can't forget about that little candlestick. I could have left it black, but I thought I really want it to match the base. Like I did previously, I'm going to go ahead with that 150 sandpaper and sand so that all the chunkiness, make sure the bottom, even on my candlesticks, I wanted to make sure that that wasn't a mess on the bottom, sanding off that excess paint, just making sure that everything's sanded, there's not chunks, everything is nice and smooth. And then, oopsie, when I went to sand the candlestick, the paint wanted just to completely come off. So that got some chippiness, but that's okay. I just like, okay, stop what I'm doing. I'll just go ahead and seal that in with some weather defense. Some clear coat will kind of help bond it on there. So it's just a little bit more distress in the base. So I'll need to go ahead and spray my base also, because when I go to aging wax these two pieces, if one is unsealed before I age the wax, it's going to make it a different color. I have a little bit more work to do before I can start putting everything together. Since I took the flower off the little mice, I thought I should make a little scarf. So I just have some of this drop cloth fabric. It's kind of aged. It looks perfect. So I was just going to make a little scarf. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut a square out. I'm just guesstimating on what size I think. I'm just going to eyeball it. So I'll cut a square out, and then I'll cut 2 triangles out of the square to make 2 scarves for the little mice. I have my extra pieces now, so just a little hot glue I think would adhere those just fine. And for just being a guesstimate, I think I did awfully I didn't even do any measurements. I really just winged it and eyeballed, and look at it, it actually wraps around that little mouse. Perfect. And now I'm just going to take a black button and put a little hot glue on that button, and that'll hide where I gathered the 2 pieces for the little scarf together. And if you're wondering what was that other square for, I thought I would make a little pillow pincushion just to bring another element of that drop cloth fabric in there. You know, I'm filling space, so I need some accessories to go in with this. So what I'm doing right now is I'm gluing 3 of the sides, just hot glued, a little hot glue will get this glued together, and then I'll just take a little bit of batting, stuff my little pillow, and then glue it together. But I felt like I wanted to add a little bit more age, even though there is a beautiful patina on this drop cloth. I'm going to mix up a little bit of the instant coffee, instant coffee water, that's it, and it acts as a stain. So, and then I'll just take a paintbrush and then just kind of dab it on, let it soak into the fabric, and let it dry. As you see, the mouse itself is already pretty much done this way. Time to start putting our creation together. I'm using all our little pieces. So In my glue applicator bottle, I have Tight Bonds Quick and Thick. I want to add a little bit of that and a little bit of hot glue, because the hot glue will be an instant bond, and then as the Tight Bond dries, and it'll be a little bit more permanent. Just because I wanted it to be tall, I didn't trust hot glue was just going to adhere it and keep it there, especially, you know, if it gets bumped or anything. Sometimes hot glue is not a permanent, it's just kind of a temporary sometimes. So I'm going to go ahead and start just a little bit of the glue on my major pieces. You know how that is, you kind of have to test it out and see how cute it's going to become. So now I have another spool that I need to add on top of the candlestick, because that would not be enough base for that mouse. And I'm not sure I like that spool being plain, so I'm going to steal some of the string. This is really thick string, so I'm going to steal some of the string off of the other one. And of course, yeah, there we go. I knocked it right down. I told you hot glue's not a permanent, but yes, just a little bit of it so I can wrap it around the other one. I'm just going to take a little bit of that hot glue on the end of the string, and that should help me to adhere it to the spool itself. And then I can just wrap whatever I cut off. I don't know. I was just guesstimating. Just something to give it a little bit of color. I was seeing that little spool kind of like a vase, and I do have a piece of dried real baby's breath that I thought, look at, it'll fit right in there. It's that same neutral palette colors. Super cute. But I do think I am going to add one last element, and I have this old fabric tape that is aged patina itself, so I'm going to wrap it around like the little mice are intermixed in this old measuring tape. It's so, oh my gosh, this is so sweet. Wait, my pin cushion needs a few little pins, and I just happen to have some white topped pins that I can stick right in there. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and did I give you a couple ideas? Whether the birds that you may not have those type of birds, but remember, we're getting into the spring season, and I'm sure Dollar General is going to have those little blue and red birds again that you can paint up. Oh, you can do Rusty Crusty on those little birds and those cheap little candlesticks. Even though I thrifted 4 of them for minimal, I know that Hobby Lobby carries them all the time. So this is really a doable kind of craft, along with those cute little mice. Oh my goodness, I just absolutely love them, and the thought of them being like Cinderella's little sewing. Is it Cinderella or Snow White? Which one sewed? I think it was Cinderella. Anyway, the idea of them sewing on those, yeah, just to give them some height and get them out of my stash. You know, I've just had them in my stash, and they need to get out of there and be cute on that little display. So I hope that I have inspired you to get into your stash and get crafting and get creating with some of those pieces that you have. So again, thanks for watching today's video, and as always, if you're part of our YouTube family, thank you so much. And if you're new and you're checking out this channel and you love pre-loved, thrifted, secondhand finds as much as I do, not only decorating your own home with them, creating with them, please smash that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know we uploaded a new video. And we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye!